Thank you for joining today's demo day. Today we're going to be showing you ZOOMstudio, and we're going to be focusing on the new template library. We are very excited to be showing this new feature, which is something that has been requested by many different suppliers and companies outside of the promo product industry. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we'll jump in. So we are going to do this session in 30 minutes. We are going to keep it quick and short, but if you need more information or a more in-depth look, please feel free to reach out and we'll set up time for a one-on-one demo. This session usually starts with some background and a quick tour, and then we get into the designated topic, which today is the template library. Since many of you have already joined a past session, I'm going to keep the intro shorter than usual. But again, if you want more insight or more info, let us know. You can also access any of the previous recordings. So our agenda, we're going to start by why we built ZOOMstudio, what it is, who uses it. Then we're going to create some content and look at the template library. So let's talk about why we built ZOOMstudio. Zoom Catalog has been around since 2009, and we initially started by addressing the print catalog problem, specifically in the promotional product industry. Suppliers were printing and shipping thousands, hundreds and thousands of catalogs every year, and distributors would get these physical catalogs and have to file them and use them to find products and share them with customers. That is the initial problem we solved, but over the years, working closely with suppliers and other manufacturers, we quickly learned that there are many challenges outside of distributing the catalogs, which is what we were focused on, as it relates to the creation of catalogs and other content. So we wanted to look at transforming that manual process that all of you are likely very familiar with, of putting together a catalog that can take months to do. You're sourcing information and spreadsheets, trying to find product resolutions. You have to hire an expert or user design team, and then use special software to create layouts. It's an extremely manual process and very time consuming. So we wanted to embrace the digital transformation our industry is going through and create a way for users to quickly create what they need when they need it with accurate product information. So the digital transformation was one of the driving forces behind why we wanted to look at that manual process of content creation. And that spans beyond catalogs. We know many of you that are joining us today have to make lots of different types of content, presentations, sell sheets, flyers, all sorts of things. But all of these things you can now do really quickly and easily with the platform we've built. Another huge catalyst for building ZOOMstudio was the issues that all of the volatile supply chains were causing for suppliers. They would create these beautiful catalogs and get them up on Zoom, but updating them became quite difficult. Every time price changed, they'd have to go back to their design files, update, export, upload. So we wanted to create a product connection with ZOOMstudio to enable that data to directly feed into what was being created. Also, buyers' expectations are changing. Distributors need things quickly, they need them fast, and oftentimes they expect you to provide it for them. So we wanted to, again, enable suppliers and other manufacturers to be able to create this content and meet the expectations of their buyers. And it's not only the distributors that have different expectations, it's their customers. They want frictionless experiences and they want things done quickly. So waiting a couple days or weeks to put together a presentation or a flyer just isn't really going to fly anymore. But with ZOOMstudio, it's unnecessary. And then growing custom needs. So after launching Zoom Catalog, we launched a platform called Zoom Custom, which allows distributors to rebrand your content as their own. They can add their logo and their information, and then the rest of the catalog or flyer is static. This is great, and it's still used a ton today, but there is a growing need for even more customizations. Distributors want their price markups in there. They want to hide pricing. They want their brand elements or switch out products. These things are very difficult to do when you're working with an InDesign or Illustrator with a designer. But with ZOOMstudio, you can make these changes quickly and easily. You can duplicate your content and you can customize it for each customer. Not only that, if you want to, you can invite your customers into the tool and let them self-serve. And I know our industry is a little behind in that, where suppliers are expected to do the majority of the work for distributors, but there is a younger generation that is very tech savvy and would love to be able to jump into a tool really quickly, put together what they need, publish, and go. So ZOOMstudio enables exactly that. So what is ZOOMstudio? ZOOMstudio is the industry's smartest and easiest design tool, enabling you to create custom content at scale. We'll be jumping in the tool to put together a quick piece to show you how simple it is. But the main part, the heart of ZOOMstudio is your product data. We know that oftentimes when you get a request for a presentation or a sell sheet or something like that, you don't really have a tool to fulfill that request. So your sales reps might just be putting a bunch of product URLs into an email, or if they're ambitious, maybe they're going into Canva or a Google slide. But these are very unappealing ways to do things, and you have very little control of what's being sent out there. So with ZOOMstudio, you're giving one tool to your whole team. You're ensuring that everything looks great. You have insight, visibility, and tracking of what is being sent, what's working, what's not working. And because we've built it in a way that it's so simple, even people who are not inclined to use new technology will be able to create things that look awesome. So who is it for? Depending on your business, any one or all of these different users might be using your ZOOMstudio. First and foremost, marketing teams. This is the most obvious. Marketing teams are burdened with having to create catalogs. Oftentimes not just one big catalog, but breakout catalogs, vertical market catalogs, customer-specific catalogs, and then flyers, presentations, and everything else. So with ZOOMstudio, your marketing team is now empowered to create things much faster and more quickly. Also, your sales team. A lot of suppliers in our industry are empowering their sales teams with ZOOMstudio. They can be on the phone with a distributor and get a request to send bestsellers in a certain color under a certain price point. They can put together a really beautiful piece before they even hang up the phone and get it over to them so that they can then send it on. So empowering your sales team with these tools is huge. And not only that, which we're going to see today, you can create a library of editable templates. So your sales teams don't always have to start from scratch choosing the products and elements. They can find things you've already set up. So you might set up some layouts for different vertical markets, for different seasonal events, for product categories. We'll talk more about that later. Also, your design team. So this goes hand in hand with your marketing team. If your design team has access to Studio, they can create what they generally create way faster, oftentimes in seconds or minutes. So empowering with your design team with ZOOMstudio means they can get a lot more output, they can customize pieces more quickly, and they can do more. And then, of course, distributors. So if you find that this is a good use case for your studio, and I say that because we have some customers on the call that are not on promo. If you're a promotional product supplier joining us, you absolutely want to get your distributors in the tool. You can add ZOOMstudio to your website and they can jump in there and create what they need when they need it. So the benefits, first of all, you can create and capture more demand. This one is kind of obvious, but we know you're getting those requests for different pieces, for different customizations. You can meet that demand now quickly, but not only that, you can use ZOOMstudio proactively to create demand. For example, if you have a customer who places orders at a certain time of year, before those orders come in, maybe you send them something with some suggested items before they even reach out to you. You can use it for prospecting or product suggestions. You can go above and beyond because it is so quick and easy to create this type of content. Also, your team can collaborate and make better decisions. We'll be looking at the dashboard in a little bit, but all your team members will be able to log into the dashboard to see how their pieces are performing, what's working and what's not. And depending on their role and permissions, they may be able to also see what each other are creating, share pieces, help edit pieces, and things like that. So there is a collaboration level of this tool that you don't get when you don't have something in place and you're using the body of an email to put links to send product proposals. Of course, you can design more without spending more. You don't need to add more designers to your team. You can actually provide the tool to non-designers and just expand your capabilities that way. And then of course you can create content in minutes, not hours. Honestly, we know suppliers who take months to do their catalogs. They can do this within, half an hour with ZOOMstudio. All right, so we're going to jump out of the presentation now, and I'm going to give you a really quick tour of the tool just to give you context, but we're going to come back into this presentation and talk about the template library right after. So if you sign up with ZOOMstudio, or some of you here have ZOOMstudio already, you will get a ZOOMstudio of your own. It will be branded with your logo and your colors, and you will decide if this is something you want to keep as an internal tool, or if you want to put it out there and let your customers come in here as well. So for suppliers, you'll be linking this to your website or using our API integrations. So not only your team, but distributors can come in here too. So there's 4 options. There's the template library, which we're going to come back to. That's the main focus of this session. My designs, where I will be able to see everything I previously created, clone, edit, and manage those. And then we have 2 options, make it quick and start from scratch. So just a little context here, when we initially built ZOOMstudio, we just had start from scratch. It's a very robust builder, and it's really awesome because you can do a lot with it. But we quickly learned that it was almost too powerful. We needed to create a version of the tool that was much faster, where our tool made the decisions for the users. So all they were really choosing was the product, and they could create something really, really quickly. And that's why we launched Make It Quick, which is powered by our Smart Layouts technology. Today, I'm going to give you a quick demo of the Smart Layouts. So I'm going to click to start a new design, and our editor will launch. So just to put like a use case to this, I am a sales rep, and I know that a distributor wants to present some summer items to their client. So I need to put together a presentation with some images and get them a link quickly. So first I'm going to do my design settings. So I'm going to say lookbook or Bob or whatever it is. I can choose my currency. So if you do have different currencies in your company, we can make sure they're all available here. And I can choose my orientation. So I could do portrait, which is great for any kind of content, or I can do landscape, which is good for presentations and inspiration boards. And then by default, I have my logo, but I can switch that out. So since I'm making this for a specific client, I can click here and upload their logo. Or if I previously uploaded it, it will be saved to my asset library, and I can find it and quickly switch to that one. So we'll hit create design, and you'll notice once I'm in the tool that it looks really simple. And this is by design. We wanted to make this tool extremely simple to use, extremely intuitive, and make it so you can't really mess up or get lost. So on the left, I have my pages where I can add more pages and rearrange them. In the middle, I have my page. And then on the page, we have the smart layout. So this smart layout is very basic. It's just 4 products and a logo. But we have a layout library where I can choose the layout depending on what I'm creating. And we're going to be constantly adding more layouts to the layout library. And we also have a service to create custom layouts to meet your specific needs. So if you want something that is a little bit more custom or branded, we can definitely get that set up for you. Since I'm making a lookbook, I'm going to change my first page over to a cover page. Now that I have my cover page, you'll notice that I have different types of content blocks, as opposed to the other one where it was 4 products. Now I have an image, title, and logo. All I need to do is click on each block to add the content. So I'll start by adding an image here. I'll go to Unsplash, which is integration with a library of thousands of stock images. I can search and use these completely royalty-free. So I'll search by keyword and find the perfect image for my piece. Select that and add it to my design. Then I'm going to add a title that will pop up in a second. I am having some slow internet here, guys. I apologize. But I'm going to give my piece a title now. So I'll type in summer products. JGR, I know you're here. Can you let me know if we're having connection issues in terms of like what's coming through?
I can see your image now, so it was just a little bit delayed.
Okay, all right. Sorry, everybody. This has been a little bit of a battle this week so far. Thanks, JGR. Okay, so I've added my image and my title and my logo, and now I'm going to go ahead and add a page. I can choose to add a single page, which is great for a quick presentation, or I can add a spread if I'm making a catalog. So that gives me 2 pages side by side, and I can change the layout on each side. So I'll click Manage Page, and on the left, I'm going to choose a layout from the layout library. So let's say we'll do this 2 columns. And I'm going to actually turn off the logo so you can see that turned off. And I'm going to reorder it. I'm going to move the image to the left and the products to the right. So I'm happy with that. And on the right, I'm going to change this to 3 products stacked. And I'm going to, again, turn off the logo. So now I have my layouts ready. What I have here is an image block and then 5 product blocks. So we'll go ahead and add an image. We'll go to Unsplash and find something that we want to use. So we'll be able to search by keyword. Just a note on the asset library here. We also have a shared library, which means you can upload all your lifestyle shots, your photography, and other brand images and make them available within the tool. So you can enable your team and distributors to easily access those and have everything in one place. Now, that was an image slot, which we'll see in a second, but we also have the product slots. So these, when clicked, will launch the search modal. So that search modal is where we are able to connect to your product data. So when we click to add a product, we can now search across all the products you have available. We can talk about this at the end if we have some time around how we get your data connected. If we run out of time, we can send you a video to explain it, or we can meet one-on-one. But we have some very simple integration options available. So here I can search by keyword, product ID, product name. So I'll type in the keyword and see what's available. Of course, in this case, these are PCNA's products. And then I can use the drop down to find the right product color if there are color variations available. So for this one, I'm going to choose the neon green, and that's going to change the data such as the pricing, style ID, and image to match the color I chose. Then I hit add, and it'll pop that product in with all of the accurate and up-to-date product information. That alone is going to save you endless amount of time. When you're putting these together in your own Google slide or in your catalogs that you're creating, you're going to likely be copying information off a website, trying to battle with image resolution. But because we have it all here in the tool, it's going to be really quick and easy to add what you need. So we'll pop in some different sunglasses that I want to include in my presentation. And we'll finish out this layout. Oops. And one more here. All right, another quick note is that you can actually alter the product details. So if I wanted to mark up pricing or hide the pricing, change the product image, all I need to do is click on this icon and I can make any changes I want. Now, the other thing you'll notice is that not all the product information that should be or that is available with an item is showing on the page. And we're solving this with what we call the sidebar. So if we were to put all of these details on the page, this is going to start looking really messy and really hectic. But we know that information is really important to a buyer. So you do have the option to include all the product details, but it goes into the sidebar. And once I publish, I'll show you what that means. But whoever's viewing can click and view all the information that isn't on the page. So we'll come back to that. Now I'm just going to reposition this image a little bit. So we'll slide that over. And then I can keep going. I can add as many different layouts as I want. For the sake of our demo and time, I'm not going to add another layout here, but I'm done. My piece is ready. All I need to do now is hit publish, and I get a link. I can start sharing. So I can start sharing my piece with whoever I want. This link can be added to emails, websites, posted on social media, blogs. And whoever is viewing this will see the most up-to-date piece. So if I wanted to go back and maybe add another spread, change out products, edit pricing, once I publish changes, whoever has that link will be able to see the updated piece. And again, this is not the tool speed, this is my internet, so I apologize to everybody for the slight delay. But once this loads, I'll be able to show you the sidebar when products are clicked. All right, so here's my piece. It's coming. Gosh. Okay, there we go. Let me go back here. And you'll see when these products, once they do load, if we can get the connection working, when they are clicked, we get the sidebar and we get all the product details. So we get our layout and the user can click on a product and the pop-up will now show the different color variations, product images, if available, the product tables. And this is going to be configured to your data. So if your products have specific information that needs to show here in a different order, if the pricing is rather just one price point instead of a price table, all of this is going to be set up when we do your integration. So I have my catalog and I'm ready to go. So I can start using it in my marketing and so forth. And then I can come back and create as many different pieces as I need. I can make edits. I can clone this and maybe make some minor changes for a different customer. I know for the suppliers here, you could make one version for I Promote You and another for Halo and another for Proforma. Because it's so quick to duplicate and create versions, you will be able to create all of this custom content at scale. So that is a quick walkthrough. The speed obviously isn't great on my internet right now, but let's definitely jump on a one-on-one. And any of you that are interested, we can show you how to create other types of content like quick presentations, sell sheets, etc. All right, so moving on from the tour. Now we're going to be talking about the topic of our demo day, which is the editable templates and the template library. This is a new release for Smart Layouts, and we are very excited to be showing it because we know many of you have been waiting for the ability to do this. So you can now create any pieces you want and publish them as a template. What that means is when you publish as template and share it with somebody, they have the option to make it their own. So they can maybe market pricing, add or remove pages, switch out products, add their own branding. For internal use, this is huge. We know that often sales reps need something a little bit more custom and they're dependent on the design team to get back to them with things to fulfill the request. But instead, you can have a library of these content pieces that are being requested often, like bestsellers, items for schools, breast cancer awareness suggestions. All of those different pieces can be set up as layouts with curated products. So that can be the starting point for the user. So a high level summary, you're going to be able to create editable catalogs, flyers, presentations, and more. You're going to be able to add them to the template library, which we'll take a look at in a moment. You will have full control of managing all these templates, so you can add, remove, edit, do what you need with them. And you'll be able to quickly build and customize content for your customers. So going back to the tool, I actually have a demo account here for this specific part of the walkthrough. But when we get your studio set up, you will also have a template library. So whoever comes into the tool, whether you're just using it in-house and it is just your team, or if it's your team and distributors, rather than starting from the very beginning where they have the blank page, they can choose a template as their starting point instead. So you can see here, I have our template library and it is filled up with awesome templates that I can use and make my own. You do not have any limit on the templates that you can create, so you can create as many as you need. And they can be all sorts of things. So they can be a one-page flyer, they could be a multi-page presentation or slideshow, they can be a lookbook, they could be a 200-page catalog. They can be whatever they need to be, but that will be the starting point for the user. So once they're in the template library, they can preview any of these templates. And if they want to use it or customize it, they'll simply click Use Template and switch out the pieces as needed. So to show you how this works, you will go into ZOOMstudio and create a piece just like I did in my previous demo. So I have one here that I made. This is a simple lookbook. We have a couple spreads, which of course, there we go. So I have some lifestyle shots, some products. I have different types of product sections. And this is a piece I set up specifically because I wanted it as a template in the template library. So in order to get this into the template library, all you need to do is go to the design settings, toggle over to template, and turn it on as a shareable template. Once it's turned on as a shareable template, I will get this note here that it is a template itself. But when I go to share, I now have the option to add it to the template library. If I do not share it to the template library, I can still share it with others so that they can make it their own. But if I want it in that template library, I toggle this on. So if you're going to use it as a link and not turn it on, this use case would be maybe for something that if you are giving distributors access to your studio, but you had a template that you only wanted your team to use, like a proposal or something like that, you could share that link just with your team members rather than making it available in that template library where whoever is entering your tool can access it. So you'll have the choice of having it in the template library or not, but either way you can share it as editable. But it is that simple. As soon as this is toggled on, it'll pop up in your template library and anybody coming to the tool can use it. So again, just another quick example. This is a more basic flyer. We have some summer styles. We just have 2 pages and a few different products. And then once the distributor or the sales rep decides they want to use this piece, they can do what they need. So say, for example, they're like, in this piece, I know I am planning to sell this item for more. Maybe we're going to go ahead and mark up the price. So we'll make a change to the price and you can see there it updated the page and of course the sidebar as well. I can also make other changes. So if I wanted to perhaps choose an alternative product image, if there are other images available, I can switch to choose those. Change the name, description, all that good stuff. I could also just switch out the product altogether or maybe add a new page with some more items. So we can say, you know what, I want to add one more page here and I want to put a few more products. I can fill this in and publish. And then of course, branding. So I can say, you know what, I want to make this my own. So I'm going to go ahead and replace the logo, upload the logo I want in that spot, or choose the one that I previously uploaded. Have that pop in there, and that's going to update that logo throughout the piece. So now it is branded with the new logo I've chosen. So these editable templates are very helpful for, again, both your team and or your distributors, and you can create and publish as many as you want to your template library. Now we also have the dashboard, your team dashboard, that I want to do a quick walkthrough of in case you haven't seen it before. So this dashboard isn't just for you as an admin to manage the tool, it's for all your team members to collaborate and see how their pieces are performing. So you will be able to easily come in here and add any of the team members that have access to the tool. Now, if you're not planning to have customers or distributors use it, anybody added as team members here will be the only ones being able to access the tool. But once a team member is added, they will be able to come to supplier@zoomcatalog.com and they will be able to see in the dashboard their designs as well as how they are performing. You can also assign them a manager role, and if they get the manager role, not only will they see their own designs, but they'll be able to see everyone's designs as well as edit them and delete them. So this is really helpful if your team is working together or if managers need more insight into what's being sent. And then we have our template section where we can see now all the different pieces that were turned on as editable templates, as well as which ones have been added in the template library. So you get a really nice level of management here as well. So you can quickly go in and say, you know what, I want to turn this off in the template library, or this one is not in the template library right now. I'm going to jump in and turn it on and make it available. You'll also get the views, so you'll be able to see how these templates are performing. So that is my walkthrough. We are at 29 minutes past the hour. I'd love to be able to take some questions. We might run over, but please feel free to go ahead and type your questions into the chat box or the Q&A box, and we'll run through them. Just a reminder that if you'd like to meet one-on-one, we can give you a little bit more of a deeper dive. So we can show you how to create other types of content, and we can talk about your specific data. But I do see the first question is about how to get products in here. So let's quickly run through that. So getting integrated, ZOOMstudio integrated with your data is actually very simple because we do all the work for you. we have 3 standard integration options. Number 1 is specific to the promotional product industry, so it is promo standards. If you have that done, we can connect and get you integrated very easily and keep things refreshed and up to date. Number 2, we have an API that you can use to implement and push your data to us. And number 3, if need be, we can use your spreadsheet. So you would send us your spreadsheet, we'd map that in, and you just resubmit that spreadsheet when you need an update. We don't ask you to reformat your spreadsheets. We will map to your spreadsheet because we want to reduce work on your end. And then if none of those work for you, we can talk about your data. We do offer custom integration. Perhaps you have your own product API or somewhere else where you're storing the data. So don't roll yourself out if one of those 3 doesn't sound like it's going to be a fit. Let's chat about it and we'll find a way to create that connection. But the integration is very simple for you guys because we do all the work on our end. Once we have it all set up, we send you into a test site to check out how things are looking and working. And only once you're happy with it, we publish and go live, and you can start using the tool, whether it be your team, distributors, or both. Another great question, is there a way to upload logos onto items? So this is something we're currently building, super excited about it. We don't have time to show you today, but if any of you are interested in seeing how we're building this, we can jump on a demo. But we are building the virtual sample plugin for ZOOMstudio, and our main focus is speed. So we know that many suppliers have to create these virtual samples, and it's very expensive. It's a long process. You have to have specialized skills to do it. So what we're doing is building the virtual sample plugin in a way that's going to allow your users to create many virtual samples with a few single clicks across as many products as they need. It's actually really exciting and we'd love to show you. So reach out and we can do that one-on-one walkthrough. And that we're expecting to roll out at the end of Q2. Somebody's asking if we can share an internal template library. Can we share a separate internal template library and distributor template library? Okay, so the way I would recommend doing this is first, of course, the template library on the ZOOMstudio start screen is going to be kind of like the public one or the one all your distributors see if you're inviting your distributors in here. Now, of course, for those of you, and this is for the non-promo customers, if you only give access to your company, then you could use this template library for internal purposes because no one else will have access. But for the suppliers here that are sharing with distributors, the way you can collaborate templates would be through the dashboard here. So then the team members can log in and see the different templates and use them from the dashboard. We are eventually going to add some more permissions to the template library. So when I publish, I can choose if I want it to be public or just team. And then in that case, whoever is viewing from here will see it if they're on the team or not. But if you want to dig into that with us a little bit more, I know that you are a customer already with ZOOMstudio. We can kind of brainstorm and find the best use case for you guys. So somebody's asking about how many images they can upload for the asset library. So you can populate the asset library with all your assets, and it's actually really simple to do. And we also currently do not have any limitations. So you would come to your dashboard, go to library, and here's where you'll be able to see any assets you have uploaded to make available. And you'll be able to upload new. You can mass upload, so you can have, you don't have to do one at a time. You can upload a whole folder. And then you can manage the permissions really quickly. So if you needed to maybe change the permissions of a whole bunch at one time, you can check off the ones that you are wanting to adjust. And then you'll set permissions, and you can see here I have the option to make it available for only me, only your team, or public. So you can make these changes, and then you can also, of course, let me just move the Zoom menu out of the way here. Go in and edit the individual images as well, so you can rename them and organize them here. And this will make them available to your users depending on the permissions that you've granted. And again, there's no limit, so you can upload as many as you need. And if you don't have any assets, that's also no problem, because we do have the Unsplash integration, so your users will still have access to lots of really awesome images that they can use. Somebody asked if we can add video. So that is another great question. That is in our backlog. So we are absolutely going to be introducing other content types to the layouts. So you can see any layout I've used here is a combination of either image, product, logo, text. We're going to be bringing in not only video blocks, but GIF as well down the road. So I could have a nice video here or a GIF at the bottom. So that is something that is going to be coming soon. All right, pricing, of course, that's always a good question. So pricing is going to be dependent on the number of SKUs, and that includes your variants. So if you have, I don't know, 50 products, but they all come in 3 colors, you would have a total of around 150 SKUs, potentially more if you have different size options. So we'll need your SKU count, and then we can give you a quote. There's going to be a one-time integration fee, which allows us to get everything connected, set up, branded for you. We get you on the test site. Once approved, we'll go live, and that's when your annual service fee kicks in, and then you'll simply just renew annually on that date. So for a specific quote for your SKU count, reach out, send us that number, and we can send you the exact pricing you're looking at. Or we can get on a call and talk through it. If you're unsure about your SKU count, you can send us your data, whether it's a spreadsheet or just some credentials to your promo standards, and we can take a peek into that for you as well. Recommended image size for the assets. Another great question. So our tool does auto scale assets, which means if you upload a very big image, it'll scale it down as well as the weight of the image. So it doesn't take forever to load, which you won't believe because of the speed of today's presentation, but that was my internet, not the tool. So what that means is you do not need to go resizing all your assets. The only thing you're going to have to look out for is not uploading things that are too small. But we have those specifications. So if you need them, reach out, we can send them over. Do we offer training? Yes, absolutely. So while we know the tool is extremely intuitive and we like to believe everybody can jump in and just use it automatically, we know no matter what, training is needed. So that is included with your integration and setup. Once you go live, we will happily set up different training sessions for your team. We can record those sessions, so you have those as a resource for those that couldn't attend. And then you have ongoing support, not only for yourself, but any of your users as well. So we're always happy to answer questions, jump on a Zoom call, and make sure that you're getting the most of the tool. I see some questions about the virtual sampling tool. So for those of you interested in that, please reach out. Let's do a one-on-one. We have some things we can show you in exactly the workflow, how it's going to look and feel for the user, the type of data we're going to use to auto apply those logos to the products. But just answering a couple questions of it right now, I think isn't going to give enough clarity. So we'd love to give you a walkthrough. We probably need 30 minutes of your time. So reach out if you'd like to see that. So we are constantly evolving the tool and getting feedback, adding new functionality, adding new features. We also send out a monthly change log to anybody that subscribes. Whether you have Studio or not, if you're interested in getting that email from us, we'll include the subscription link in our follow-up email. So definitely sign up to get that email, and you'll be able to see what new we've added, what we're working on in that email. We won't spam you, we promise. We only send a few emails out a month, but that way you can keep up to speed with what we're doing. Especially helpful if you have ZOOMstudio, so you know what to go look for or embrace and start using, share with your team. So definitely get that change log. But any of the features that we are improving or adding to the tool, you will have access to as a ZOOMstudio customer. And you'll also have the opportunity to submit those requests to us and inspire what we do next with the tool. So we love feedback and we love to hear from you guys on what we can do to make the tool more powerful.